As we all know, the Model 3 is Tesla's more affordable car design, and they try to make sure you think if you're building a more affordable car, you're going to want to make sure it's going to be marketed and placed correctly with against your more expensive cars, which are the Model S and Model X. So, along with that line of thinking, you're also probably thinking, well, we want the acceleration times to be a little bit not quite as good. We want the maybe the range and the charging to be not quite as good, etc., etc. Well, one of the things that happened here that Tesla is definitely admitting to is that they asked the EPA to actually dial back their rated range for the Model 3. They originally had it here in the EPA says 334 miles of range, but Tesla asked the EPA to drop that back down to 310 miles of range. And the change is referred to as a Tesla desired range. I think it's desired because they want to come in underneath the top range of their more expensive Model S, which makes sense. They've done other things to differentiate it, including removing rear-wheel drive options from Model S. I've got other videos on that. But what do you think about this? Let me know in the comments. It seems pretty obvious. Tesla, the car is capable of more, and Tesla just is saying, well, we're going to say it's this. I think that also applies with some of the acceleration times, that the Model 3 is probably quicker than is stated in the times given on the Tesla site, also for similar reasons. And one of the other things that I'm wondering about too is the charging rate, because in the EPA document that was released, it says that the vehicle is also capable of accepting DC current up to 525 amps from an off-board charger, supercharger. So that means that apparently it is capable of getting more than the 120 kilowatts of maximum charge right now that's offered on the superchargers. You can see 120 kilowatts. Oops, come on, phone, you're acting up. 120 kilowatts, sorry guys, is the maximum. Now, with this revelation of 525 amps, that could potentially mean 210 kilowatt charge can be accepted by the Model 3. Now, does that mean that these new cells, are better because they can take a higher rate of charge like that? And will Tesla actually use that to the advantage? Let me know in the comments, because, with anything, as it's an engine, whether it's a gasoline engine or an electric motor or whatever it might be, whatever the rated power is, the manufacturers don't ever want to exploit all that. They want to have a buffer range there to make sure that you don't overdo it with the stuff and their products actually last long. So that could be what's going on. Is that what's going on here? Or will they actually have a higher rate of charge quicker on the Model 3? And will S and X be converting over to the batteries that the Model 3 is using because of this higher charge rate? Let me know, because as Elon Musk has talked about a new system for superchargers that would be 350 kilowatts. You see there, that's dramatically higher than the 120. It's like 3 times as fast. But this 210, what does that mean? If you know anything about it, please let me know, because it's kind of hard to tell. Some people are flying off the deep end, basically saying that the Model 3 has got all the technology in it, so much better than S and X. And now, as soon as they ramp up building the Model 3, they're going to totally change out S and X. Even though Elon has said he's never going to use the design batteries in the S and X that he uses in the Model 3. So what is it? And then there's this issue of phantom drain here. It's also mentioned in this article. Supposedly the phantom drain in the Model 3 is a lot lower than in other models. It also could be because there's only one computer in the Model 3 and there's 2 in the S and X. That could be part of it as well. So here we go. This is the other thing. Elon Musk said that he would never go above 100 kilowatts on battery size. Well, he didn't use the word never, but that's for S and X. So I've also got another video talking about the 130 kilowatt battery pack that's probably coming out in S and X. And if it does, what's that going to be? Is that going to be the design here for Model 3? Is it the new style battery that also Elon said he'd never use? A lot of questions here. So looking forward to your comments on all this. And the biggest one for me, I guess, is because the other ones, pulling back on the range, pulling back on the 0 to 60 times, I understand that. This is the big one for me, the charging rate. Let me know what you think about the charging rate, and if that is cell dependent with Model 3 cells versus S and X cells, or is this just the way that, I don't know, unrelated and just all a bunch of stuff that we shouldn't be concerned about. I'm interested to read your comments and I'll respond to all of them. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.